Time to go for gold, and two massive Asian nations taking each other on for the top spot here in the compound mixed team competition. It's Korea versus India for gold.
On target number 1, representing the Republic of Korea,
1号靶位韩国队
Oh Yoo-hyun, Kim Jong-ho, on target number 2, representing India,
2号靶位印度队
Gianni Surakavenam, Ojas Pravindriotale. The line judge for this matchup is
起射线裁判
Shannon Russell Kaya.
So time for the gold medal match in the compound mixed team competition. Korea taking on India. Korea lining up with Oh Yoo-hyun and Kim Jong-ho. India with Joji Surakavenam and Ojas Diotale. There is the American Rio Wild in the coaching box for the Korean team. So we've talked about Korea and the dominance they've shown in recurve archery. Rio's making a massive difference to their compound setup.
Yeah, we can only guess, of course, how much of a difference he's made and how much they've already done in their pre-season. But well, we're seeing two countries here that have invested in their compound division with foreign coaches. Although Sergio Pagni isn't here right now, I think he is the Indian compound coach now and has proven his worth in Antalya, where Jyoti Surakavenam managed to win the individual and mixed team gold. So in Antalya, we saw this Indian team almost shoot the world record. They were very close to it in terms of how many X's they shot. They just didn't manage to clean the round. But they did say that they were going to go for another attempt, and this might be their second attempt. It's very early to talk about world records, but I'm mostly talking about them being in another gold medal match with the mixed team, which is already a very impressive feat.
Just to put it in context, what is the world record?
From the top of my head, 159 with 13 X's, is it? No, I don't know. I've tried to put too much information in my head over the past couple of days, and some of it got lost. So Kim Jong-ho is the top qualifier this week, but he got knocked out surprisingly in I think the 16th or 8th. Maybe even 32nd now that I think of it.
Well, that's a way to get the match underway indeed. In fact, a carbon copy of the arrow.
Solid start from the Koreans and the Indians here. Certainly a bit of tension, and it's a very high quality match. But Jyoti Surakavenam, she talked after winning the individual in Antalya that she's kind of broken through, if you like. And she seems like she's been around for a long time for someone who's just 26 years old. That being her first win in Antalya.
Yeah, I mean, some people take a bit longer than others. I mean, the Steve Weiler won his first World Cup that he ever attended, and some need 20 tries. I mean, and then what we sometimes forget is there is a whole bunch of people who go to many World Cups and never get a win. So there's that as well. So it's not a given that you will eventually win a World Cup stage.
No, certainly not. But Venom certainly promised over the years, and it seems like it's taken her a bit longer than perhaps she wanted. But like you said, the investment in Indian archery over the last couple of years has been significant, and it does seem to be making a difference. Over on the other side of the shooting line, it's definitely a mark-up in performance. Rio Wild taking over the coaching for the compound division in Korea, trying to marry up with the high performances you see from the Korean recurve team. All square here though. 39 apiece, Korea to start end number 2.
So earlier you asked me if I thought Rio was communicating in English or if he knew any Korean, but we can hear now that he is coaching them in English so far. So I don't know if they had to learn English or if they already knew plenty of it to understand what he is saying, or maybe they're acting like they know what he's saying and just doing what they think. In any case, it's working really well. There's just the occasional 9 that looks fine, and they seem to be a little surprised by it, but it's nothing super strange. So there might be a little bit of wind, especially down at the back of the field. But yeah, their technique is just, it's clean enough to not really notice anything wrong with shots that don't go into the 10, so it might just be that their sight is not in the middle.
But it's an interesting point you're talking about, the difference in the wind from one end to the other. You see down on the shooting line, especially with this shot, there's not too much wind, just a little bit of headwind. But down at the target end of the range, you can see the feather flags fluttering away.
The answer holding on indeed to that edge. Team India staying in the chase, 78 to 78.
Well, calling it India staying in the chase in the venue seems ungenerous. They're matching each other, that's for sure, these two teams. But for me, if anything, the Koreans are the ones that are likely to drop a point or two extra.
Yeah, maybe. Although I think both of the teams are pretty solid right now. I just still have a vivid memory of how dominating they were in Antalya, the Indian team that is. So it's difficult to put that aside in my head and think like, oh, they might drop a couple points more than this. Yeah, it's a different field, it's a different tournament, but for me they go into this match maybe as the favorite, which is strange because Korea was the first ranked team. It's just the impression that they left after the Antalya World Cup stage.
Talk about the first ranked team, they shot a 1.409, Korea in the ranking round. India shot a 1-3-8-9 to put some context around it. Ranked 6th after the ranking round.
Yeah, I think the ranking round was a bit windy. So
And wet.
and wet, but that was mostly the recurve side. So I think that might have leveled the field a bit. So the scores in the qualification, especially, or maybe for recurve and compound, are not representable for the level of archery that they produce here.
Felt a bit long.
Yeah, but Rio seems to be happy with it. He's calling it a good arrow. Maybe purely going off of the result, but to be truthful, that's what matters at this point, right?
Well, you keep telling me that it's all about not just the score, but also the execution, the consistency of the execution that you're looking for as well. But I tend to agree with you. When it comes down to gold medal matches, what you want are those nice, juicy double figures in each box.
Obviously, I feel like the perfect shot doesn't exist. You don't want to stray too far off it because you're always chasing that perfection. But in a situation like this, you just need to do whatever it takes to get that arrow in the middle. It would be very hypocrite of me if I say that all your shots need to look good in a finals venue, because mine definitely didn't.
They definitely don't look good if they end up in the 6.
Is that a dig to my bronze medal match in Rio?
Not in the slightest. Felt like they were getting close to the countdown, and I think that comes down to O's first shot, taking up a bit of time.
He didn't seem too stressed about it though, Kim Jong-ho. I think that might hit the line, but I'm also going to leave it up to the target judge to make it definitive.
Gone for a measure, that's for sure. It could be important if this is a 10 by Jyoti. That's going to the 9. Actually, that makes it even more critical here. Provisionally a 1-point lead for the Koreans after 3 of 4 ends. The chef, it's that third arrow in that end for India. Critical for a measure now.
Yeah, and I think it hits the line, but because of the print on the arrow, it's difficult to see.
117 for the Republic of Korea, 117 for Team India. But let's just hold our horses.
It's a nice job by the cameraman trying to give us a better angle and then hiding it behind another arrow.
I don't think we can blame the camera person's height really on that one. It looks like it's been marked up, it's been measured up by the judge, and that means that we are still all square at 117 apiece. That measure critical for the Indians.
And do we have any fans of the Republic of Korea? Let's make some noise for Oh Yoo-hyun and Kim Jong-ho.
现场的观众朋友们，为我们的运动员加油！
Well, able to maintain a smile, Jyoti Sirakavenam, but this is an exceptionally tight one. As the bronze medal match was, that went to a shoot-off. There's a good chance of that happening here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. What's better than a shoot-off for gold?
经过法前裁判的确认，117环平局，还有最后一组间。
Well, Team Korea shooting first on target 1.
So going to the 4th and final end of the compound mixed team gold medal match here in Shanghai, the second stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Korea's Oh and Kim to shoot first, with the scores all square between Korea and India.
at this point in the match, the previous match, I should say, both teams just put down the pedal to the metal and went with a perfect score, but that's not really an option anymore now.
Certainly not for Korea.
10.
Bit of a longer hold again, so I wonder how much time they have left. It shows 41 seconds left on the clock, so they should still be good.
It's another one of those mid-end arrows that could make a massive difference here.
It looked pretty good, but she walked off the line seemingly knowing that that was going to hit left.
So still all square. One arrow per archer left. Ooh, tight.
9 or 10.
Marked for a measure. That could become incredibly critical.
For me, that looked out, but it was also very close. So don't pin me on it.
10.
We're finishing off with a 155. 156 available with 2 10s for the Indian team. Will that be enough for the win? It's going to depend on that measure of the third arrow for Korea.
10.
So Yotale doing his job. Pops it into the 10. So 39 to finish with a 156. It's high fives all around. Perhaps an indication that the Indian coach has already had a look down the scope and seen the score of the Korean arrow. That your initial gut feeling was that Korean arrow's down.
Yeah, but as you said, it was more of a gut feeling than anything else. She was very quickly calling that, as if there was no reason to have any closer looks.
Well, celebrations on the Indian side of the target. They seem convinced that they've done this by a single point, 156 to 155. We're still waiting for the official confirmation.
And potentially winning here in Shanghai. Let's just. Well, there you have it. It is
and there is confirmation that India have taken this, the third arrow for the Korean team, marked as a 9 as it was provisionally on our score bug, and that means that India have taken gold in the compound mixed team competition, 156 to 155, and Jyoti Surekavenim and Oyas Yotale will be standing on top of the podium very shortly here in Shanghai.